welcome to the program Standpoints on NTA, the station that adds value to society. I am Ngozi Imokwede. In this program, we profile personalities, and these personalities give us an in-depth knowledge of what they are doing. Let's take this profile on our guests today.
Deputy Commander of Narcotics, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Delta State, Christopher Owoye. He has several degrees in different disciplines. He was enlisted into National Drug Law Enforcement Agency as a cadet in 1991. He was appointed in the agency as OC Strike Force Warri Zone, Area Commander Ofa, Area Commander Otukpo, Benue State, Oron, Akwa Ibom, among others. He was an instructor in NDLEA Academy, Jos, Plateau State. He is currently the Deputy State Commander, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Delta State Command. He is married with children and enjoys playing badminton and golf. I introduce to you Christopher Owoye, Deputy Commander of Narcotics.
We are looking at the role of NDLEA in the being hard drugs. Sir, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, is a federal law enforcement agency supervised by Federal Ministry of Justice, and it is charged with eliminating the growing, processing, manufacturing, selling, exporting, and trafficking of hard drugs. It was established by the Decree number 48 of 1989. So would you say that the mandates of this establishment, are they living up to its mandate in what you see today in our country?
Yeah. Let me start with the decree that established NDLEA. During the military era, it was referred to as Decree number 48 of 1989. But now it's an act of parliament, and it's referred to as the NDLEA Act Cap N30, Law of Federation of Nigeria, 2004, because we're in a political dispensation. The NDLEA is actually doing what is expected to be done as enshrined in the act that establishes it. We are following all the functions that are stated therein to enforce the provisions of the act, to coordinate all drug laws, and to adopt all measures necessary within the confines of the law to eradicate, to eliminate the cultivations of hard drugs, the processings of hard drugs, the trafficking of hard drugs, and even the consumptions of hard drugs. I can say boldly that we are living up to expectation.
With what you see in today's Nigeria.
Exactly.
So let's look at one of the objectives. You say is to increase student awareness on hard drugs. How often do you visit schools? Because we discover that in most schools now, you get to see our youths, they take these drugs.
It's a common thing these days that youths, being what they are at their age level, they are vibrant. It's a vibrant age group in the society, and they don't want a dull movement. Youth always wants to be very active, and sometimes they want something that will ginger them to act. So the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Delta State Command, in collaboration with SDCC, that is State Drug Control Committee. Okay. This State Drug Control Committee has a lot of ministries put together to form this committee, and it's been chaired by the First Lady. However, the chairman position was being delegated to the Director of Pharmaceuticals in the State Ministry of Justice, being headed by pharmacist Ure. Okay. Now, NDLEA, in collaboration with SDCC, in 2004, we went around 61 secondary schools.
In the States?
In the States, 61 secondary schools, to enlighten the students.
Is it public schools or private schools?
In all put together.
Okay.
Both private and public secondary schools. We went to these schools to enlighten the students one after the other. And thereafter, after the enlightenment, we leave behind what we call WADA Club. WADA means War Against Drug Abuse Club. This club is with the intent and purpose to continue this campaign after we have initiated the campaign. So the WADA clubs, we have WADA clubs in these 61 secondary schools.
Okay, so what about the primary schools?
Yes, we do go to primary schools, but because of their level, they might not be able to sustain WADA clubs. But the secondary schools are mature enough to some extent to have participants that will be able to propagate the aims and objectives of WADA club. But at this primary school level, based on their age, except to have teachers that will be able to handle them. But for now, we limit the WADA clubs to secondary school. Then, in fortress to that too, we collaborated with another state ministry, Bureau of Communication and Orientation.
Okay, Bureau of Orientation.
Bureau of Communication and Orientation. Early this year, I think around February, if I'm not mistaken, the DG of that Bureau of Communication and Orientation, we went around the 3 senatorial districts campaigning, sensitizing the students again. Focus on the students because these age groups are very prone to the abuse of drugs. And we go around the whole 3 senatorial districts and we successfully campaign, sensitize the students.
What about children who drop out of school? Because now your concentration is on those in school. We still have children who are not in there in the school. So how do you hope, or how are you going to pass this message to them?
Yeah, we use media. That's why we are happy with the collaboration we're having with the media houses, NTA, DBS, and other media houses. They are a good measure or means to carry out our campaign to the public. It is not easy to go from house to house to go and bring out people to sensitize them, but as we can gather them in a group, one, we do go for what we refer to as public sensitization, the marketplaces, to religious houses, especially in the churches.
Okay.
I've been to many churches to sensitize because you can't go from house to house to start sensitizing people. Yeah. But where you can have a group of people where you can they can congregate and you speak to them at once, we do that a lot.
Okay, I heard about this test drug kit that was introduced. That with that particular kit, you know the amount of drug that one has taken.
Yes,
How realistic is this kit?
It's very, very empirical, very realistic. It's an innovation of the current chairman, Chief Executive, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Brigadier General Buba Marwa. We have 2 types of urine test kits. That's number 1, and this is number 2. Now, the both does the same job. This is what it looks like. Here, with this device, we can test somebody for 15 different types of drugs. 15 different types of drugs, like amphetamine, benzodiazepine, marijuana, cocaine, ketamine, methamphetamine, morphine, opiates, codeine, tramadol, and a lot of others. It only takes the urine of the victim to be dropped inside this container. Then we dip the cartridge inside the urine, and immediately after 5 minutes the test results will be ready. It is so empirical. It's something you don't need. It's not a rocket science. The victim and the NDLA person can see it if it is positive or if it is negative. There are 3 different of arrows there. When it is positive, you see it will show these 2 red. When it is negative, it is 1. If it is invalid, you will see it there. So it's not something that is rocket science that cannot be read by the victim or something you just have to hide. It's within 5 minutes, the result will be out. That's why it is written on the pack. Drug tested 5-minute test. So it only takes the urine of the victim, and in 5 minutes, the result will be out. It is an integrity test. We are campaigning that every intending student that wants to get admitted into tertiary institution should be tested before they are given admission, so that we will be able to know the type of students that are coming into this tertiary institution, so that they will not be fomenting trouble when they get in.
Tested for children coming into the tertiary. Is it all tertiary institutions?
Yes, we are making that proposal to tertiary institutions for now.
Oh no, okay.
Yes.
So
then beyond that too, some states have adopted it. For instance, Kwara State, it's on the news. For every teacher that will be employed into Kwara State teaching ministry. All the teachers they have undergone this test, so that the teacher that will be teaching the student, they themselves have to be drug-free.
Okay, looking at this looks very good, but how are you going to implement this is another issue. But coming back home, there are people who don't believe in this. So how would you send a message to them?
The term belief is relative. All we need is the willpower, the political will. If the government in place supports that, for every intending worker in the state need to be tested before they are employed, they have no choice.
Okay.
So all we need is political will for it to happen.
After being tested,
yes,
and positive. So do we have enough place to keep these people? Enough rehabilitation centers in the state?
As far as Delta State is concerned, that's a little problem we have. I think all over the nation, Delta State is the only state that does not have a rehabilitation center. However, we don't keep them. Let me explain a bit. Somebody that has a drug use disorder is not to be in prison. Somebody that has a drug use disorder is not to be kept in a solitary place, but to be counseled, because we see them to have a problem. They are different from the seller. The seller makes money from the sales of drugs. The processor of drugs makes money from processing drugs. But those who use drugs, they have what we refer to as drug use disorder, meaning that they lose money to go and buy this drug. They lose their health to go and acquire this drug. So they are victims of the dealers. They are victims of the sellers of the drug. So they need help. So internationally, we refer to them as victims who need help, because we refer to drug as a cult. You can get into it willingly, but you cannot get out of it willingly.
Addiction.
Yes, the moment you get into drug, to come out of it, it might not be by your own volition. It has to be somebody has to help you. So drug users, what we refer to as drug use disorders, need help, and not to be incarcerated or locked up, but to be counseled and rehabilitated. So in Delta State, the state has a rehabilitation center under construction in Ndukwa West, I think in Kwale, precisely, but it's still under construction. However, NDLA has a very limited space that we use for now, and it can only accommodate about 4 at a time.
4 persons?
Yes, at a time. We have another facility in Agbo, but it has not been equipped. So we are soliciting the support of the state government and well-meaning Deltans to support us. The facility at Agbo can accommodate about 60 at a time, because on daily basis we receive applications for parents.
Okay, let's see. Okay, go ahead.
We receive applications from parents of drug-dependent persons, but we don't have facilities to accommodate them.
Okay, let's see. Here in Asaba, there are places that are known that they sell these drugs. There are outlets that is known that when you walk up to that place, even by this time of the day, the drug sellers will even approach you, like, which of these drugs do you want to buy? Your men, according to reports, we heard that your men are aware of this particular site, but they are yet to apprehend them. As I speak to you, if you go there now, they will even approach you. If you remove your uniform now, just walk like a civilian, they will even approach you and say, which of these drugs do you want to buy?
Well, I can say before now, we used to receive intelligence that there are places where they sell drug within a suburb. That's the essence why NDLA is in existence. Assuming they are not selling drugs, assuming there's nobody is selling drugs, there's nobody who is abusing drugs, there won't have a need for NDLA to be in existence. So that means there is a problem. That is why NDLA exists. So there are intelligence, we receive intelligence on daily basis, not only from Asaba or Warri or Agbo. We receive intelligence everywhere on daily basis, and we are trying our best. We have enough manpower, and our manpower are well skilled. I'm an instructor at the academy, and they are well skilled on how to carry out their duties professionally, and they are very professional about it. The problem we're having in Asaba is NDLE does not have an office in Asaba, the state capital. It's unfortunate. We are making moves, and we are liaising with the state government to see if we can have an office in Asaba. I want to say here clearly that Ogwashiku, where our office is located, the state headquarters is located, has the lowest drug menace in Delta State. Why? Because our office is located there. Now, the places we are referring to in Asaba, I won't say no, that it's not possible. It's possible. But the problem we have there is when we receive intelligence, before we move from Ogwashi to Asaba, that time frame will have made them to disperse, number one. Number two, those places we are referring to, I wouldn't know if you can mention one or two of them, then I will tell you what effort we have made in those areas. Because I know that we have covered a lot of areas in Asaba.
Yes, according to reports, we heard of the one that happened at Sweet Spirits. I think that was last year, where the spring bullets killed a particular child. And report has it that even up till now, those drug peddlers, those drug sellers are still there.
Well, I'm very happy that you said the stray bullet did not just fall from above, from heaven. It was in the course of
raiding
beautiful,
and
beautiful, meaning that an effort was made.
Yes.
And in the
but reports still have it that these men, they are still on ground.
Well, I don't want to say yes or no until I have to cross-check. But the problem there is that we raid on a daily basis, and we don't limit our raiding to one particular place. We cover the whole state.
Yeah, maybe you send your men to sleep over so that they can be able to go there early hours of the day. Maybe if they get to disguise themselves without putting on their uniforms, the men will see them and maybe even approach them. Probably they used to come with their uniform.
In that same open environment that you talked about 2 months ago, I think we still prosecuted somebody that owns a supermarket in that place, and the case is still pending in court. And the Federal High Court is a public place where one can go and verify. So we prosecuted a supermarket owner in that place, I think at about March this year, and the case is still pending in court, number one. Number two, we've arrested more than, this year alone, we have arrested more than 30 youths of non-deltas who are dealing in this drug around that environment. So we arrest them on daily basis. I have enough statistics here, and the statistics are something that can be verified. Verified in the sense that the Federal High Court where these people are prosecuted is a public place where you can easily verify the numbers of drug peddlers that were arrested and prosecuted from Asaba, from Agbo, from Warri. You can verify all this in the court. And I challenge, let me use the word challenge here, that there is no enforcement agency that can have the numbers of prosecution that we have.
Can you differentiate between your role with the NAFDAC and NDLEA? But I think we'll talk about that when we come back from the break. Let's see your role, the role that the NDLEA is performing, and what differentiates you from NAFDAC. Let's take this break. We'll be right back. Standpoint is an incisive and impactful program that gives an overview on how personalities shape the society. Join us every Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. on NTA Asaba, the station that adds value to society. It is hot, frank and engaging. Standpoint, standing for stardom. Because we're still in the studio, we're adding value to society, and this is NTA. We are looking at how NDLEA are using their role to control the menace of hard drugs, and I have the deputy commander here with me is St. Christopher Owoye. We are still discussing about the hard drugs, and he'll be telling us now on the role, what differentiates the NDLEA and NAFDAC.
The decree or the The legal book that establishes NDLA is different from the legal book that establishes
Yeah, but sometimes it looks as if your role is conflicting.
It's not until you go through the instrument that establishes NDLA and the instrument that establishes NAFDAC, you know that there's difference in these two instruments. NDLAs are concentrated on narcotic drugs and proceeds from these illegal dealings in narcotic drugs. Whereas,
Okay, the proceed that comes from it.
yeah, the proceed that comes from the illegal dealing in narcotic drugs.
Okay.
But NAFDACs are, they deal on medicine and unwholesome consumables. Medicine and unwholesome consumables. So there are two different organizations working on two different areas.
Okay, so how should parents who have children who are into the influence of hard drugs, how do you think they should manage such child so that the child doesn't run away from the house and at the end of the day becomes a nuisance to the society?
Yeah, we crave the indulgence of parents who have wealth that has drug use disorder to seek help, not to live in denial. Don't live in denial that, oh, if we go out, it will bring a bad name to our family. Don't live in denial. Seek help in the appropriate place, and the appropriate place is the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. We have professionals, we have counseling department, rehabilitation, we call it drug demand reduction unit. The drug demand reduction unit carries functions like counseling and treatment and rehabilitation. Counseling, treatment and rehabilitation. So when you come to NDLA and seek help, come and seek help. The first thing we do is to test the ward and know and ascertain the type of drug that the ward is abusing. Thereafter, we go for treatment, detoxify the system of the victim of the drug the person must have been abusing. Then thereafter, we now go on rehabilitation. So we crave the indulgence of parents, brothers, sisters, family members who have one who has a drug use disorder to comfort, seek help from NDLA.
Okay,
And
this
our help is free.
okay, these kits that we talked about,
Yes.
can anyone go to the supermarket and
No,
buy it?
you could see it's customized. You see the signal of NDLA on it, NDLEA urine test. However, the same test can be performed in some hospitals. You can still perform the same test in FMC Asaba, but I wouldn't know the cost there. But ours is different.
Okay, but is it free?
Depends. If you are seeking as an individual, we'll sell this to you at 5,000 naira. Then this 10,000 naira. Because this one has a cup where you drop the urine, but you have to come with a cup here to put the urine. So instead of the urine splitting, if you can just put the urine here and bring it, we put the cartridge in it, then your test will be.
There's this story about youths. I think it was in Agracul somewhere. They said they came together, they had a party, and because of the party, it was discovered that some of the drinks, some of the alcohol they took was actually loaded with drugs. What do you have to say to youths on that?
I think it's common with event planners these days. Youth, as I said earlier on, they don't want dull moments. We've all been a youth at one point or the other. Youth does not want a dull moment. Whenever they go to a party, they want to enjoy to the fullest. So what they do, what the event planner do, is to, without the knowledge of the participants or the invitees, they lace either their drinks or foods with drugs, so that everyone, all the attendees will get high. But if it's not the best thing, we are trying to go against event planners who are doing that without the consent of the attendees of occasions.
So your last word before we go.
I want people to assess NDLEA, where our office is located. The Delta State Command Office is located in Asaba. When you have anyone that has drug use disorder, please feel free to approach us. We are all out to arrest, to prosecute all those who are making money from the sales of drugs. We go after them, and we say, if you want to be a farmer, please cultivate plants that will support humanity and not the one that will destroy humanity. And I say again, drug is like a cult. You can go into it willingly, but you cannot come out of it willingly.
Drug is like a cult. You can go into it willingly, but you cannot come out of it willingly. That's a serious word for everyone. You just feel you walk in and you walk out, but in drugs, it is not that cheap and it is not possible. Thank you, sir, for coming to the program. St. Christopher Oweye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I hope when we call on you another time to throw more light on other issues that has to do with drugs, hope you avail yourself.
247, we are at your service.
Thank you very much. That's been Standpoint. Same time, same station. We'll bring to you another personality who will tell us something that you and I need to know on how to live a better life and becoming a better citizens of this country. Have a blessed day from you. Thank you for watching.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.